The very highly anticipated Devil May Cry show has finally released on Netflix, and as someone who's played every single one of the Devil May Cry games and has liked them and even loved them for different reasons, I was very, very stoked for this show, especially since I knew that the team behind the Castlevania Netflix series and the very underrated, in my opinion, Captain Laserhawk. I know a lot of people did not like that show. That show didn't make a lot of noise, but as someone who really, really enjoys the Ubisoft universe, the way that they used all those characters, I really, really enjoyed that show, and I feel like I didn't hear much noise after it came out. So once it was announced that they were behind the Devil May Cry show, I was pretty stoked. And even though this show comes with all that pedigree, they did one thing that really, really managed to annoy me. But before I get into it, let me know down in the comments what did you thought about the Devil May Cry show on Netflix. And later on the video, if you managed to enjoy it, help me out by hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel for more. Before I get into what annoyed me, I want to drop in the positives because there is a lot to the show. I feel like they managed to use the Dante story pretty well, and the way they told the Dante story was in a good way. The main antagonist of the story is this bunny who shows up wanting to steal the Sparta sword and is looking to basically put it together to open a portal to the demon realm, to hell, to invade Earth and have a bunch of demons show up and take over, basically, because his home planet is all pretty much screwed up. And although I think this bunny is new to the series, I liked him. Like, the whole Alice in Wonderland aspect to him was really interesting. He felt like an interesting character that I wanted to know more about. He's kind of creepy and mysterious and kind of a badass all at the same time, and the way he speaks so eloquently, he was just an interesting character. At first I was iffy about it because I was like, I don't remember no giant bunny in Devil May Cry, but the more I saw about the bunny, the more he was winning me over, like a lot of things from the show. A lot of people recognize the animation as similar to the Castlevania series. I would describe the lines to be maybe a little bit thicker, which makes it look a little bit different, but not by much. I did find Devil May Cry to be a little bit more colorful than Castlevania. Castlevania has like this more depressing tone because I feel like it has to, and this one doesn't. These colors pop a little bit more. I feel like this art style really splits people. Some people are like fine with it, and other people like really do not like it, and I think it's okay. It lends itself for more fluid action and stuff to happen on screen. I don't mind it whatsoever. Another thing that within the animation people might not like was some use of the CGI. I felt like it was used in a purposeful way, like some demons come from a different world, so these demons look and move different than the world that they're interacting with. That's how I took it. I'm not sure if that was really the purpose, but the difference was really blatant. Like, they use CGI for these different monsters and creatures and demons. They also changed the art style quite a bit, especially in this one episode, to tell the story. And again, it's really to emphasize the difference between the worlds. At least that's how I took it. Since Devil May Cry is a very heavy action game, you should expect a lot of action to happen in this show. And it's very much on par with what we've seen with Castlevania. It's very, very awesome. It's very, very gory. And it never really goes out of that box, I don't think. Nothing feels like too much for the franchise. Like, I feel like it fits. It looked good, like when they were fighting and all that other stuff is really, really cool. Dante does a lot of cool shit, as he should. And when it's paired with some late 90s, early 2000s alt rock music that we probably all heard 1,000 times, it's really cool, you know? Like, the Limp Bizkit intro is really fun. They drop some Papa Roach and some new Evanescence, which is really cool. And they use the music in a purposeful way, which is really cool. They don't just throw it away just for fun. It's usually in fun fight scenes that offer a little bit more, and that music adds a little bit more, because the music in the Devil May Cry series isn't important. It usually means it's time to throw down. Like, the music could come on in combat, so it's used in a similar way here, which I enjoyed. At first, the voice acting of Dante, it didn't really sound like him to me. He sounded a little bit boyish, I will say. Like, I wanted a little bit more gravitas to his voice. But this also slowly started to grow on me. Johnny Young Bosch, who you might have recognized as the second Black Ranger, does his voice. He also voiced Nero in the fifth game, I believe, and his performance was a good one. He slowly starts to win me over. He's very cocky. He'll be talking shit during a fight. He might throw a your mama joke here and there.
Pretend I just shot that guy. Bang! Man, Skeletor did not hold up since the 80s.
It feels like a different take on Dante a little bit. Not as drastic as that one Devil May Cry game, but just a little tweak to Dante. It feels like a maybe a little bit more immature Dante, like a rookie Dante, like early days Dante. So again, I enjoyed everything that had to do with Dante. In the terms of world building, they do mention that they're in New York. Usually when you see a demon, you can immediately assert that, okay, that's like a Devil May Cry looking demon. Some demons here really didn't feel like Devil May Cry demons. Others really did. In terms of the enemies and in terms of some of the designs, those were 50-50. I don't feel like they spent a whole lot of time in building up Dante's world. There was more information and more stuff revolving around the other realm and more story and backstory there. So as the bunny, he's trying to collect the amulet, one half that Dante holds around his neck. He's trying to complete the sword. You introduce like the government's demon hunters and are all dressed like Captain Commando for some reason. I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but that's the only thing I kept thinking. It's like pretty spot on. I wonder if this is a shout out. There was a ton of Capcom Easter eggs that felt kind of cool. I'm not sure if this was a Captain Commando one. It really did look like it to me, but who knows? Every team member was cool except for one, which is the thing that annoyed me from this show. In Devil May Cry 3, we have a lady named Lady. And this is a character that they used here in the show. Now, Dante, for the most part, has always have a dynamic with a female. I want to say lady, but her name is Lady. A dynamic with a lady, right? Albeit girl that sells you shit, or Trish, or Lady, or whatever. There's always a girl in the mix. But the depiction of Lady in this show, I really did not like. She's smarter than him. She's better than him. They are always at odds with each other. She's either fighting him, capturing him, or saving. And it does never feel like Dante comes out on top, which he should because he's half demon. This lady is just a regular schmegular lady, and they don't really explain as to why she's so good just because she has the equipment and she hates demons. It didn't necessarily make sense to me because mainly I'm not here for her. I'm here to see Dante, and I want to see Dante do cool shit, and he does. But one thing gets in the way, and that is Lady. He'll be fighting, and then they'll literally cut his fight to go show us what Lady's doing. And then we come back to Dante doing cool shit. Oh no, but wait, we gotta go see what she's doing over here. I don't care about her. She's not on the poster. And I know fans love her or whatever, but I really did not like her depiction in this show. A lot of shows and movies do this kind of stuff, but I don't know if they don't realize or simply don't care that it leads to inconsistencies later on, right? The way I see any show or movie that features fighting in it is that you see it's like a ranking. Like there's overall to each character. It has to be seen that way. Why is Dante being captured by regular schmegular humans, but then he can turn around and take on 5 demons whenever he feels like, or whenever it serves a story? Those inconsistencies really bug me and take me out, because you're saying Dante is this bad motherfucker. You send all these people towards him, but it takes this girl to capture him, right? And this takes place in the first episode, so it's not that much big of a spoiler. And then she keeps getting one up on him throughout the whole show. Like I said, she's either saving, capturing, or fighting him. And she really got in the way. And you can notice that she's getting in the way because every time they show Dante, again, like I said, he's doing cool shit. So I want to see the cool shit. But we gotta go back and see Lady, right? Okay, maybe she was a compelling, awesome, interesting character. I wouldn't mind it much, but I did not find her to be that. Her personality is basically Lady that curses. Every sentence she says, she throws in a curse. She'll throw in a or whatever. But it's every single sentence to the point where it's noticeable. At least it was to me. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a saint. Like, that's literally how I talk, but in the show, it really takes away a lot from it, and it became distracting, so I wasn't taking in the message that she's saying. Her dialogue is very corny, very cheesy, very cringy. I did not like whenever she spoke. The voice acting is not terrible, it's just the lines of dialogue. She curses in a way that she thinks that it makes her look edgy and cool, but she comes off more as like an angsty teenager who finally found out that she can say without getting into trouble, so she just says it whenever. It's like saying is part of her personality almost. And again, I wasn't here to see her. I wanted to see Dante. Now, I'm not advocating for her to be just blatantly eliminated the whole time, but it feels like when they inject these type of characters, female strong characters, they don't write strong female characters. They just write characters that are there to one up the main character. I feel like secondary characters are there to help and complement the main character. She's not the main character, and I thought that she wasn't, but the show blatantly treats her like she is. I think her stuff is 60% of the show. She gets a whole episode to herself, one that Dante isn't even in it. They show more of a parallel between her and the bunny. The bunny's whole motivation was because of her, and it's like, well, then where the hell does Dante fit in? Dante's just a tool then. Dante's not the main focus of the story. Dante's stuff doesn't really matter, it just matters for the outcome, it felt like. And every time I saw her, I was getting more and more annoyed. So by the end, like, if there are 8 episodes, on the 6th episode, I had to take a break because I was like, I'm tired of her. I don't want to see her. And they kept showing her. You know, I felt like trying to watch football and them showing Taylor Swift on the screen every 15 minutes. I get for a show's purpose and pace, you don't want to show Dante 100% of the time. You need breaks, or you need a secondary story to break up the pace, and it can't just be action, demons, and killing all the time, even though I would think that would be awesome. But it felt like the roles were flipped. It felt like Dante's stuff was the secondary stuff, and the lady stuff had to be front and center, and I didn't like that. I wasn't here for that. And again, they don't even manage to explain why she's so good. It's just because she's pissed off at demons. Okay, but Dante's half demon, so there's an explanation as to why is he so badass. Why is she so badass? Just because you're telling me? Yes, she does badass things, but why can she do these badass things? She's only a human. Nobody else can do that. What is separating her? Her hatred towards demons? It just didn't make sense. Dante is half demon. He has abilities. He should be able to kick everybody's ass, and he does, except for this lady. Why? They don't address that. It became annoying, so I kind of held that grudge against her throughout the whole show. And again, it doesn't help that she basically adopted Dante's personality from the Devil May Cry reboot game, the one that everybody hates. She basically walks and talks like that Dante. I was just not a fan of her basically hijacking this show. It felt like the Dante stuff was a third of the show. Maybe it wasn't, but it felt like that to me. And I was more annoyed because all of the Dante stuff is really, really cool. And again, this lady chick does cool shit as well, but I wasn't there for that. And I felt like she was taken away from the stuff that I really wanted to see, the stuff that I was really liking, which is the Dante stuff. The secondary character could have an interesting backstory, but you have to make us care about this character to want us to know about that. And to me, I did not care enough for that character. And depending on where you land is how you're going to feel about the show. If you don't mind her, you're probably going to enjoy the show because the other stuff, like I said, is really, really cool and fun. And even though I hated her, I don't feel as strong as to just come out and say that I hated the show. I watched the whole thing. I was gripped the whole time. I was paying attention. She ruined it a little bit for me. Not at all. Like if there's a second season coming, which they set up a lot of things that involve Dante and actually have to do with Dante, I'd be down. But then even her involvement doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil what the hell I'm talking about. But it sucks that I feel like this show is going to come down to just one character when there's so much more revolving around it. The world is cool. The action is cool. I enjoy the animation. Dante as a character is cool. All the other characters are cool and interesting. So if you're expecting a strictly Devil May Cry only Dante show, you're not going to get that. Lady's going to be there in the way, in my opinion. And you might like the lady stuff and you might hate the lady stuff. And if you do, I need you to let me know down in the comments, what do you think? Do you think I'm overreacting? Do you agree with me? Do you love her? Do you hate her? What are your thoughts about the other shows? Go on down there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe to the channel for more reviews like this. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to always and forever, you do you.